Bryan Braman, the former NFL linebacker known for his fierce passion, iron will, and underdog rise to Super Bowl glory, has died at just 38 after a valiant battle with a rare, aggressive cancer, marking a tragic loss for the sports world and the countless fans who admired his warrior spirit both on and off the field. Braman, who first burst into national attention not through a first-round draft pick or spotlight hype, but through raw grit and relentless perseverance, began his college football career at Idaho, later transferring to Long Beach City College, and eventually finishing at West Texas A&M, a journey emblematic of his entire career, one built not on privilege or entitlement, but on sheer effort and resilience, proving every step of the way that you don't need to be born into opportunity to break into the elite. Going undrafted in the 2011 NFL Draft could have broken many, but not Braman. Instead, he signed with the Houston Texans as an undrafted free agent and swiftly earned a reputation as a fearless, high-impact special teams player, with his most iconic early career moment coming during a 2011 game against the Tennessee Titans, where after losing his helmet mid-play, he still delivered a brutal and effective tackle, cementing his status as a relentless force and fan favorite. He became a cornerstone of the Texans' special teams unit, was named a Pro Bowl alternate in 2012, and went on to sign with the Philadelphia Eagles, where he continued his career with the same fire, heart, and high-energy performances, eventually being part of the Eagles team that made history in Super Bowl LII by defeating the New England Patriots and earning a championship ring in what would be the final season of his NFL career, a triumphant conclusion to a journey that began in obscurity and ended on football's greatest stage. Braman's path wasn't just inspiring because of his on-field performance, but because of his refusal to accept defeat at any stage of life, a trait he continued to embody even after being diagnosed with an extremely rare form of cancer in February, according to a GoFundMe page established to help fund his medical treatment, a campaign that drew support from fans and former teammates alike, including a $10,000 donation from NFL legend J.J. Watt, who later honored his fallen teammate with a heartfelt tribute stating, "Rest in peace, brother. Gone far too soon." Words that encapsulated the heartbreak felt across the league and among the wider community of those who had witnessed Braman's passion firsthand. As outlined in updates from the GoFundMe page, Braman underwent a number of major surgeries at a Seattle medical facility, bravely endured CAR T-cell reprogramming therapy, a cutting-edge cancer treatment that involves genetically modifying a patient's immune system to attack malignant cells, and though the therapy initially showed promise as the cancer mass began to shrink, the disease struck back with terrifying speed and aggression, forcing Braman to undergo intense chemotherapy treatments as the cancer began growing rapidly around vital organs, further weakening his already compromised immune system and eventually claiming his life. His agent, Sean Stellato, described him as a warrior in every sense, highlighting Braman's indomitable will and commitment to every battle on the turf, in the locker room, and most recently in the hospital room, stating with profound emotion that his passing leaves a void not just in football, but in the spirit of every underdog who ever dared to fight, a sentiment echoed by the outpouring of grief from fans, teammates, and coaches who recognized that Braman represented something bigger than football, something more meaningful than statistics or highlight reels. He symbolized the perseverance of the overlooked, the courage of the underestimated, and the honor of fighting until the last breath. Stellato, clearly shaken by the loss, posted a signed-framed jersey from Braman on social media along with the words, "My heart hurts. I love you, Bryan." A simple yet devastating message that resonated with thousands who followed Braman's journey from undrafted anonymity to Super Bowl champion and finally to a man who fought one last brutal opponent, cancer, with the same ferocity he brought to every game, every training session, and every moment of his life. His story isn't just about football. It's about every person who ever felt they weren't good enough, fast enough, lucky enough, or visible enough to win, and then did it anyway. And even though he is no longer physically here, Bryan Braman's legacy will live on in every underdog who refuses to quit, in every teammate who steps onto the field knowing they've got to fight like it's their last down, and in every fan who watched him play and believed, if only for a moment, that courage, grit, and heart are sometimes more powerful than any stat sheet or pedigree.
As tributes continue to pour in, and his family, friends, and former teammates mourn, what remains undeniable is this: Bryan Braman may have died young, but he lived full, fought hard, inspired many, and left behind not only a highlight reel of fearlessness, but a blueprint of how to live without fear, love without limits, and fight until the very end. And as the football community reflects on the legacy of a man who ran headfirst into every challenge with no helmet and no hesitation, one truth remains clear: Bryan Braman was more than a player, more than a champion, more than a warrior. He was a symbol of everything that makes sports matter and humanity shine even in the darkest of hours.